everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. It's so good to be with all of you. We're here for several reasons. Because it's Shabbat, and it's wonderful to be together to celebrate Shabbat. And also on the Shabbat, we celebrate Miles Fram, and we're so looking forward to being witness to you being called to the Torah for the first time as a bar mitzvah, as today is actually Miles' birthday, his 13th birthday, so happy birthday, Miles, and happy bar mitzvah. Yes, it's also my half birthday. Just thought I would throw that in. And so we're going to begin with, hopefully everyone has a siddur, a prayer book like this. If not, go grab one from the atrium. We're going to start, though, just with a melody and the words, Hinei ma tov, how good it is to be together. It goes like this. Hinei ma tov. Umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov. Umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Try that with us. Hinei ma tov. Umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov. Umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Repeat after me. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hinei ma tov. Hinei ma tov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. After me. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hinei ma tov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov, one more time. Hinei ma tov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. So we're going to be doing some warm-up melodies before we get into the central part of our service. So this next melody is new. We just learned it this few months ago. It's called the Scottish Nigun because the composer wanted a Scottish feel. So this can kind of remind us that there are other 13-year-olds all over the world, including in Scotland, having a bar mitzvah. Today, it would be over in Scotland already, but all over the world, and celebrating with you, Miles. So here's the Scottish Nigun, no words needed. And it goes like this. We'll teach it to you. Try that. I did it die 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 do 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 tiddy die do 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 I die 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 tiddy die do 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 tiddy die do 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 do. One more time, any way you want. I tiddy diddy die 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 do 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 tiddy die do 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 I die 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 tiddy die do do do. Second part like this. Oh, die, 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 do do do, I die do do, I die do do do, die 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 do do do, I die do do do. Try it, just feel Scottish. Oh, die 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 do do do, I die do do, I die do. Da 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 do, diddy diddy da 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 do, diddy diddy da 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 do do do, diddy da 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 do 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 do. Try that with me. Doesn't have to be perfect. Diddy da 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 do, diddy diddy da 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 do, diddy diddy da 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 do do do. Add your voices and your shakers from the top. One more time from the top, from the very top. Here we go. I diddy diddy die 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 do do do, diddy die do do do. I die 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 die, diddy die do do do, diddy die do 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 do. That was lovely. Are we in the mood for Shabbat? So feel free to use your shakers when appropriate. And we're going to begin our service now. Before I forget, just want to remember to say thank you to our musicians, to Chuck and to Kevin. Thanks for being here with us to make this extra joyous. We'll rise in a moment for Birchot HaShachar, for the blessings of the dawn. And if you'll turn to the Siddur on page 2, you'll see that we have Hebrew on the right, transliteration in the middle, if your Hebrew reading is a little rusty or non-existent, and then all the way to the left is the translation. So what we're going to do for each blessing is we'll do it first in Hebrew and then in English and go back and forth. The purpose of these blessings is to express our gratitude and joy of the things we might be tempted to take for granted in the morning when we wake up, but we should never do that. So there's so much to be grateful for today and every day. We rise, page 2. Please join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan l'sek vivina lavchin ben yom uven laila, enabling us to distinguish day from night. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shasani b'tzalmo, making me in the divine image. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shasani Yisrael, making me a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shasani bat chorin, making me free. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim, giving sight to the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim, clothing the naked. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim, releasing the bound. Page 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim, raising the downtrodden. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, roka haaretz al hamayim, creating the heavens and the earth. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa li kol tzorki, providing for all my needs. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaver, guiding us on our path. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Ozer Yisrael bigvura, strengthening the people Israel with courage. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Oter Yisrael betifara, crowning the people Israel with glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten layaev koach, restoring vigor to the weary. We are seated. We welcome all of you. I should have mentioned that I'm Cantor Rachel Rosenberg, and soon we'll be hearing from our Rabbi, David Minkus. We're so happy to be with all of you. Hi, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. We turn to page 4, and we will join together in Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, the psalm for the day of Shabbat. Please repeat the words after me. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat. This is your part. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat. Try that with us. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat. Do it again, add your shakers. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat. Keep singing this part. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Mizmor Shir L'Yom. Singing that part, I'm doing the other part. Tov le'odot l'Adonai, u'lezamer le'shivcha elyon. Mizmor Shir, Mizmor. Tov le'odot l'Adonai, u'lezamer le'shivcha elyon. Mizmor Shir, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Mizmor Shir L'Yom Mizmor Shir, a little louder, guys. Mizmor Tov le'odot l'Adonai, u'lezamer le'shivcha elyon. Mizmor Tov le'odot l'Adonai, u'lezamer le'shivcha elyon. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Mizmor Shir L'Yom Yom HaShabbat Mizmor Shir LeYom HaShabbat. Shabbat, the day of rest, is something we are grateful for every week. We turn now to page 5. Can everyone hear us okay? Can you hear us okay? Can you hear us okay at home? Hope so. We welcome you as well to join our Shabbat celebration, also in celebration of Miles. We're going to begin with a melody without words, and then we'll add the words on page 5 for Baruch Shamar. Notice that every single line starts with the word Baruch, which means blessing, blessed. Ya la 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 la. Try that with us. Ya la 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 la. Second part. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. We rise, Baruch Amar v'Haya Olam, Baruch Oseh v'Reishit, Baruch Omer v'Oseh, Baruch Ozer u'Chayei, Baruch Merachem al ha'aretz, Baruch Merachem al ha'briot, Baruch Mishalem v'Karto v'Re'ah, Baruch Chai Na'ah v'Kayam la'netzach, Baruch Kodem u'Masir, Baruch Shemo Shaker Tzvi, Ya la 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 la, Ya la 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 la, Ya la 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 We are seated. And we continue with our Psukei de Zimra, our verses of praise and gratitude and blessing. In the middle of page 6, we'll join together in the words, Ozi v'zimrat ya, vayehi li lishua. Adonai is my strength and song. And as many of you know, this melody and these words truly resonate with me. These words were first said, according to our tradition and according to the book of Exodus, right when we crossed out of slavery into freedom. After crossing the Red Sea, Miriam and the women led everyone in song and dance in the special song of the sea with these words, Ozi v'zimrat ya. And we'll teach it to you now. It goes like this. Ozi v'zimrat ya, vayehi li lishua. Try that. Ozi v'zimrat ya, vayehi li lishua. Again, a little louder. Ozi v'zimrat ya, vayehi li lishua. Ozi v'zimrat ya, vayehi li lishua. Second part. Ozi v'zimrat ya, וזמרת ים ויהי לי ישועה. That was lovely. Thank you to the members of the choir. We appreciate it. Bottom of page 6, words of King David, words of Psalm 145. Ashrei yoshvei beitecha od yalalucha selah. Happy are those who sit in your house. And to put things in perspective, we have not been sitting in this beautiful sanctuary at Rotfei Tzedek very much in the last 18 months. And even though we're not at full capacity, we are grateful that those of us who are here together with Miles and his family, and we're grateful to you at home as well for joining us, and we're grateful for the technology that enables that. And we join together in Ashrei. Here's your part. Ashrei, Ashrei, Ashrei yoshvei beitecha od yalalucha selah. Ashrei, Ashrei, Ashrei yoshvei beitecha od. A little louder, let's hear you. Good. Beautiful. Keep singing that. Keep singing as I sing the other verses. Ashrei, Ashrei, Yoshvei beitecha od. Ashrei. Ashrei ha'am, Ashrei ha'am, shekacha lo. Ashrei ha'am, Ashrei ha'am, Adonai Elohim. Ashrei, Ashrei, Ashrei yoshvei beitecha od yalalucha. Aromimcha Elohai HaMelech, Baruch Shimcha leolam va'ed. Aromimcha Elohai HaMelech, Baruch Shimcha leolam va'ed. Ashrei, Ashrei, Ashrei yoshvei beitecha od. Poteach et yadecha umasviya lechochai ratzon. Poteach et yadecha umasviya lechochai ratzon. Poteach et yadecha umasviya lechochai ratzon. Poteach et yadecha umasviya. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. And a few more hallelujahs to wrap up our verses of song and prayer, our Psukei de Zimra, bottom of page 7. Join us in hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Kol hanshama hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hanshama hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Feel free to put your hands together. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, Shabbat, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Kol Shabbat, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. We turn now in our Sidurim and our prayer books to page 9 as we enter the central point of the morning service, the Shacharit service. These blessings are preparing us for the Shema, which Miles, our Bar Mitzvah, will help us lead. So we rise now for Yishtabach on page 9. Yishtabach Shimcha La'ad Malkeinu Ha'el HaMelech HaKadosh B'Shamayim U'Ba'aretz. You shall ever be praised in heaven and on earth. Brachot v'hodaot me'ata v'ad olam. Baruch atah Adonai El Melech Gadol Batishbachot El HaHodaot Adon HaNiflaot Habocher B'Shirei Zimra Melech El Chei HaOlamim Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah Ve'alma divra chirutei ve'amlich malchutei B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaydecho Beit Yisrael B'gala v'zman kariv v'imru amen Yehi Shmei Rabbam Barach Le'alam u'lomei amaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar v'yitrumam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar v'yitale v'yithalal Shemei dekutcha berichu le'ela Min kol brachata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechamata Daminan be'ahama V'meru amen. Page 11, we respond to Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Yotzer or uvorei choshech Oseh shalom uvorei et hakol. We are seated and we continue with a liturgical poem from the Middle Ages, El Adon, on page 12, focusing on the themes of creation. El Adon al kol hamasim baruch u'vorach lefi kol neshama godlo v'tshuvo malei olam da'at u'tmunato v'vimoto hamid ya'eh ha'chayot ha'kodesh v'nazar v'mlavot ala merkava zefut u'minor v'tei v'zerachta v'sitei v'moto tovim ve'oro shebara Eloheinu yesara v'da'at v'bina u'vaskel koach u'gvura natan ba'em להיות נושרים לטרף תבן ולעיתים ופיקים נוגע נעזיבם לכל העולם שמחים בצאתם וזזים בבואם עושים להם הרצון קונם הער וכבוד נוטים לשמור כל המדינה לזכר מלכותו קרא לשמש ויזרחו ראה והתקין צורת הלבנה שבח נותנים לו כל צבא ברוך תפארת וגדולת רב ואופנים וחיות הקודש לילה 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 of page 15. Cause a new light to illuminate Zion. May we all soon share a portion of its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of lights. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot. In the middle of page 16, we read, it is written, God bless the seventh day. In what way is the seventh day blessed? On Shabbat, a person's face shines differently than it does during the week. And all of yours do. We continue now with the blessing before the Shema at the bottom of page 19. V'havienu l'shalom erba kanfot ha'aretz v'tolichenu komemiyut le'artzenu ki el poel yeshuot ata ובנו בחרת מכל עם ולשון, וכתבתנו לשמך הגדול סלע באמת, להודות לך ולייחדך באהבה, ברוך אתה אדוני, הבוחר במו ישראל, באהבה. We invite Miles to join me on the bima for the Shema on page 20. Together.
Shema
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Miles will lead us in Ve'ahavta at the top of page 21.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובחומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך וחילות תותפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Thank you, Miles. We continue silently on page 21. You have completed page 21. Please join me for Vayomer at the top of page 23. If you're wearing a talit, it's customary to gather the tzitzit, and when you hear the word tzitzit, to give it a kiss as a sign of our love. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor daber el bnei Yisrael ve'amarta aleihem ועשו להם ציצית, על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם ונתנו על ציצית, הכנף בתלתי תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית, וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו, אחרי לבבכם, ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. We join together on page 25. Some additional words from the Song of the Sea, celebrating our Exodus from slavery into freedom. Mi chamocha. At the last paragraph, we will rise as we prepare for the Amidah, for the standing prayer on the following page. Mi chamocha. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai lai lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai lai lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai lai lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Mi chamocha. Mi chamocha. Ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha. Neder b'kodesh. Nora tehilot. Osei pelech. Nora tehilot. Osei pelech. Shira chadasha. Shivku ge'ulim l'shimcha. Al sfat hayam. Yachad kulam. Hodu ve'yimlichu ve'yameru. Adonai yimlok le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimlok le'olam va'ed. Please rise. Zur Yisrael, Uma be'ezrat Yisrael, Ufteinu mecha, Yehuda ve'Yisrael. Oh, Aleinu Adonai, Tzevaot Shemo, Yehedon Yisrael, Yehedon Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. We join together in the Amidah. On page 26, you can join us in Hebrew in the translation, in the transliteration in the middle of the page, or you can follow along in the translation. This central prayer focuses on our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, in whose footsteps we follow. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Anora, El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot, Umevi Goel Livnei V'Nehem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Ufoked Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ufoked Sarah, Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechei Meitim Ata Rav Lehoshia, Mechakel Chaim Bechesed, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. Page 28. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב היה נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה, ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו. אז בקורש גדול, אדיר וחזק משמיעים קול, מתנשאים לעומת שרפים, לעומתם ברוך יאמרו, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו, ממקומך מלכנו תופיע, ותמלוך עלינו, כי מחכים אנחנו לך. מתי תמלוך? תמלוך בציון, בקרוב בימינו, לעולם ועד תשכון. תתגדל ותתקדש בתוך ירושלים עירך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, ולנצח נצחים. ועינינו תראנה, תראנה מלכותך, כדבר האמור בשירי עוזך. ועינינו תראנה, תראנה מלכותך, כדבר האמור בשירי עוזך. על ידי דוד, על ידי דוד, על ידי דוד, משיח צדקך. על ידי דוד, על ידי דוד, על ידי דוד, משיח צדקך. ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד עוד לך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד עוד לך. ולנצח נצחים, קדושתה נגיד, קדושתה נגיד. ושבחך אלוהינו, ציווינו לא ימוש, לא ימוש לעולם ועד. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד עוד לך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד עוד לך. מלך גדול וקדוש אתה, וקדוש אתה. יהיה מלך גדול וקדוש אתה, וקדוש אתה. ברוך אתה האל הקדוש. Continue silently, pages 29 through 33. you need for the Amidah. When you've completed it, please join us on page 34 for Oseh Shalom, a prayer for peace. Oseh Shalom b'mrocha, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yotzei tevel ve'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mrocha, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yotzei tevel ve'imru. Amen. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Oseh shalom b'mrocha, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yotzei tevel ve'imru. Amen. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 And let us say, Amen. So Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Again, thanks for being here. It's time for our Torah service, which can be found in our Sidurim on page 37. You'll be needing the larger red Eitz Chaim books to follow along in the Torah reading. And if you're at home, the text will be shared on the live stream. And at this time, we'd like to invite our entire Fram Rosen family up to the Bima as we will be opening the Ark and taking out the Torah. When the Ark is open, we will rise. Vayehi binso ha'aron, vayomer Moshe, Kuma Adonai, ve'yafutzu oivecha, ve'yanusu misanecha mipanecha, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'devar Adonai, Mirushalayim, Baruch Shenatan, Torah, Torah, Baruch Shenatan, Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael, B'kdushato.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. A little louder.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Lul Adonai, Ramima Shemo Yachdan.
Lecha Adonai,
Hagedula,
Hagedula, Ve'atiferet,
Ve'anetachachod, Hashamayim,
Uvaret, Kicho Hashamayim, Uvaret Lecha Adonai, Hamam, Ve'aminas, Kol Rosh.
Good work.
Romimu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishakav. Romimu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishakavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romimu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romimu. Romimu Adonai Eloheinu Romimu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishakavu lehar kodsho. Please be seated.
Shabbat Shalom, everone. We're going to now turn to the Torah reading, and again, we're going to be in the big red books, the Eitz Chaim Chumash, the book of the 5 books of Moses here, and Miles will be reading actually from 2 portions in the book of Deuteronomy. We are coming to the end of the Israelites' journey, the end of the Torah, and the first portion that Miles will be reading from is called Shoftim, which means judges. Moses is speaking to the Israelites about the essential task that they are to undertake as soon as they cross into the land of Israel, which is to establish a system of judges and to establish justice as the ultimate theme of their existence, the ultimate and eternal value of the Torah. And in this portion, we get the famous line, Tzedek, Tzedek Tirdof, justice, justice shall you pursue. And all of the things that follow that make a lot of sense to us. But then in the second portion, Kiteitzeh, that Miles will also be reading, we get a tremendous amount of mitzvot, a tremendous amount of commandments. Yet some of them seem commonsensical or just to not jive with the spiritual gravity and the profound spirituality of the portion that Miles will begin with. We get the laws of what happens when you see your enemy's ass or ox fallen on the road. You must not ignore it. You have to tend to it. And when the Torah says enemy, they're not talking about a terrorist or a marauding force, but really that neighbor that you don't like. And then we get kind of the laws of parking meters and, the zoning commission, that when you build a new home, you have to build a roof around, a fence around your roof in case someone is working on that, or God forbid, someone is trying to break into your home. If they fall off, it's your responsibility to make sure that they're safe and that they don't fall off. And what's with this? I think here, the devil is certainly not in the details. I think this idea that the devil thrives on making grand and universal pronouncements. It's easy to craft slogans and say world peace and this, that, and the other like that. But to actually get there, to actually establish justice, you need to be concerned not only with your fellow, but the things that you see on the street, the things that we can casually pass and ignore and think that they're not our responsibility. It's all a part of the system of creating justice in a world that we want to see. So pay attention to all of these little things as well as the big things as Miles is chanting. The Torah reading begins on page 1088.
ויעזור ויגן ויושיע לכל החוסים בו ונאמר אמן. הכל הבו גודל אלוהינו ותנו כבוד לתורה. יעמדו יוסף משה בן לואס ופני ומניה בת מוטו ורבקה ואליעזר בן יתה והרשל ואסתר בת יתה וחיים. ראשונים ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו ואתם הדבקים באדוני אלוהיכם חיים כולכם היום.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam. Asher b'chabanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torto. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Page 1088 in the Eitz Chaim.
Amen. Shoftim v'shotrim, titen laha b'chol she'araha, asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha lishvateha, v'shaftu et ha'am mishpat tzedek. Lo tateh mishpat, lo takir panim, v'lo tikah shochad, ki hashochad yaver ineh ha'amim, v'selef divrei tzadikim. Tzedek, tzedek, tirdof למען תחיה וירשת את הארץ אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לה.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam. Asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. No, hold on. Continue now on page 1130, Devarim chapter 24, verse 14, and I will call aunts and uncles for the aliyot and cousin. Ya'amdu Tzvi ben Eliezer ve'Esther ve'Tzivya Shoshana bat Chava uMiriam Elishava bat Tzvi ve'Tzivya Shoshana uMoishe Sender ben Yosef uManya ve'Dera bat Daniel uMyra Sheni. Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai
Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Lo ta'ashok sahir ani ve'evyon me'aheha amigirha asher be'artzaha bish'araha be'yamo titain zaharo v'lo tavo alav Hashemesh ki anihu ve'elav hu nase nafsho v'lo yikra alacha el Adonai v'chaya v'cha Hate. William 2, Avod al Banim, Ubanim William 2, al Avod, Ish Behato, Yumatu.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten HaTorah.
Amen. Yasher Koach. You may be seated. You guys come around. And it's our honor to call Miles's parents for the next Aliyah. Shabbat Shalom. We will continue chapter 24, verse 17 on page 1131. Ya'amdu Bitzalel ben Eliezer ve'Esther ve'Fegilea bat Yosef Moshe umanya shlishi. Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarak Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Lo tate mishpat ger yatom, velo tachavol beged almana. V'zaharta ki evad hayita b'mitzrayim, v'yivteha Adonai Eloheha misham al ken. Anohi mitzabeha la'asot et hadabar hazeh, ki tiktor ketzirha besadeha, v'shachachta omer basadeh. Lo tachshuv l'kachto lager, layatom bela almana yeh. Lema'an yivraha Adonai Eloheha v'hol me'aseh yadeha.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten HaTorah.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. And now it's my honor to call our bar mitzvah. I told you they wouldn't give you a kiss. For his aliyah to the Torah as a bar mitzvah by his Hebrew name. Ya'amod, Ya'amod, Ya'amod. Habachur bar hamitzvah. Maimon Binyamin ben Fegilea uBetzalel Revi'i Chazak.
Baruch Adonai Habarach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Ki tachvod zedha lo. No, that's the wrong one.
That's right.
Ki tachvod zedha lo tefaer aharaha lager layatom vela almana yihiyeh. Ki tivtzor karmaha lo te'olo aharaha lager layatom vela almana yihiyeh. V'zaharta ki eved hayita be'eretz Mitzrayim al ken Anahi mitzvah la'asot et hadabar hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher natan lanu Torah temet v'chayei olam natan b'tocheinu Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Amen. So is there any candy in the house? So Miles' brothers, Zach and Charlie, will be passing out candy. Don't eat it until later, but we'll be showering Miles with sweetness in just a few minutes after I complete this special blessing. I know we're into baseball today, but try not to use your best pitching arm. Be gentle. Okay, guys? Yeah. Ready? Yeah, let's cover the Torah. And we rise for the blessing. Mi sheberach avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah hu yevarech et Maimon Binyamin ben Fegi Leah uBetzalel shehigia hayom lemitzvot ve'ala lichvod hamakom v'lichvod haTorah v'lichvod haShabbat HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishmereu v'chayehu v'chonen et libo liot shalem im Adonai Elohav lahagot v'torato lalecha b'drachav v'lishmor mitzvotav v'yishlach bracha v'atzlacha b'chol ma'aseh yadav yiratzon she'yizku horav legadlo leTorah ulechupa ulemasim tovim v'yimtzachen v'sechel tov bein Elohim v'adam V'nomar Amen. May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless our wonderful Miles, whom we are so proud of, who has been called to the Torah today upon reaching the age of mitzvot on his exact birthday, which doesn't happen too often, with reverence for God, the Torah, and Shabbat. May the Holy One protect and sustain him, helping him to be wholehearted in his faith, to study Torah and fulfill mitzvot, to walk in God's ways. May his parents rear him to maturity, guiding him to a love of Torah, to the chuppah in good time, and to a love of good deeds, and a life of good deeds. May he find favor before God and the community. And let us say, Amen. Mazel tov, mazel tov, zimin tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, zimin tov, mazel tov, zimin tov, yehelanu. Zimin tov, mazel tov, zimin tov, mazel tov, zimin tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, zimin tov, yehelanu. Mazel tov. We will remain standing and we'll invite Zach and Charlie back up to the bima to open the ark the Fram family will be wrapping the Torah, and then we will return it to the ark before Miles does his haftarah. Please remain standing. Page 47. Page 47 in our Siddur. Eitz chaim hi, lama chazikim ba, v'tomcheha ve'oshar, deracheha, darchei noam, v'chol netivoteha, shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva, kadesh yameinu kekedem. Thank you, and Yasher Koach, everyone. You guys can sit.
You may be seated. We turn in our Chumash, in our red Eitz Chaim book, to page 1138. Miles will chant his Haftorah, the section of reading from the prophets.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bahar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divrehem ha'ne'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo V'nvi'eh ha'emet v'tzedek. Roni akara lo yalada pitzi rina v'tzaholi lo hala kirabim b'nei shomema v'b'nei ve'ula amar Adonai harhivi mekom ha'holeh v'riyot mishkanotayich yatu al tachsohi ha'arichi me'tarayich v'tedotayich hazeki ki yamin usmo tiprotzi bezarach goim irash ve'arim neshamot yoshivu. Shout, O barren one, you who bore no child. Shout aloud for joy, you who did not travail, for the children of the wife forlorn shall outnumber those of the espoused, says the Lord. Enlarge the side of your tent. Extend the size of your dwelling. Do not stint. Lengthen the ropes and drive the pegs firm. For you shall spread out to the right and the left. Your offspring shall dispossess nations, and shall people of desolate towns. Fear not, you shall not be shamed. Do not cringe, you shall not be disgraced. For you shall forget the reproach of your youth, and remember no more the shame of your widowhood. For he who made you will espouse you. His name is Lord of hosts. The Holy One of Israel will redeem you. He is called God of all the earth. The Lord has called you back as a wife for his lorn and forsaken. Can one cast off the wife of his youth? Said your God. For a little while I forsook you, but with vast love I will bring you back. In slight anger for a moment I hid my face from you, but with kindness everlasting I will take you back in love, said the Lord your Redeemer. For me this is like the waters of Noah. As I swore that the waters of Noah nevermore would flood the earth, so I swear that I will not be angry with you or rebuke you. For the mountains may move and the hills may be shaken, but my loyalty shall never move from you, nor my covenant of friendship be shaken, said the Lord who takes you back in love. Ki me Noach zot li asher nishbati me'avor me Noach od al ha'aretz ken nishbati miktof alay umigorbach. Ki haharim yamushu v'hagvot temutena v'hasdi meitech leyamush uvri shlomi lo tamud amar merahame Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam tzor kol ha'olamim tzadik b'chol hadarot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer v'yoseh ha'medaber u'peim shekol davarav emet v'tzedek ne'eman atahu Adonai Eloheinu v'ne'emanim devarecha v'devarehem midbarecha ahor lo yashuv rekam ki el melech ne'eman v'rahaman atah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el ha'ne'eman b'chol davarav. Rachem al Tzion ki betayenu v'la'aluvat nefesh toshia v'imhera v'yaminu Baruch atah Adonai V'sameach Tzion b'vanecha. Amen. Samheinu Adonai Eloheinu Be'eliyahu Hanavi Abdaha Uvmalhut Beit David Mashiach B'imhera Yavo V'yagel Libeinu Al Kiso Lo Yeshev Zar V'lo Yinhalu Od Aherim Et Kivodo Ki V'shem Kotrahan Yishbata Lo Shalo Yichbe Nero Le'olam Ba'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Magen David. Amen. Al HaTorah, Ve'al HaAvodah, Ve'al HaNevi'im, Ve'al Yom HaShabbat Hazeh, Shenatata Lanu Adonai Eloheinu, L'Kedusha V'Limnuha, L'Chavod U'Tifaret. Al HaKol Adonai Eloheinu, Anachnu Modim La, Umbarhim Otah, Yitbarach Shimha, B'fi Kol Haitamid Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Yasher koach, mazel tov. Miles will give you a minute to breathe, not much more. And we will rise and turn to our siddur, to our prayer books. Julie and Elias will lead us in the prayer for peace on page 46. Please rise.
May we see the day when war and bloodshed cease, when a great peace will embrace the whole world. Then nation will not threaten nation, and mankind will not again know war. For all who live on earth shall realize we have not come into being to hate or to destroy. We have come into being to praise, to labor, and to love.
Compassionate God, bless the leaders of all nations with the power of compassion. Fulfill the promise conveyed in Scripture. I will bring peace to the land, and you shall lie down, and no one shall terrify you. I will rid the land of vicious beasts, and it shall not be ravaged by war. Let love and justice flow like a mighty stream. Let peace fill the earth as waters fill the sea. And let us say, Amen.
You may be seated. Thank you. It's now my honor to invite Miles up to share some words of Torah with all of us.
Shabbat Shalom. My Torah portions are from Parshat Shoftim and Parshat Ki Tetzei. This part of the Torah is about justice and rules. The Jews have escaped slavery in Egypt and have been wandering the desert for 40 years. They are about to cross into the land of Israel, and Moses will not join them. They need some rules to live by in their new land. They also need to know what to do when someone breaks the rules, what their punishment should be, and who should be the judge. This is an important moment for the Jewish people to figure out how to create a functioning and fair society, because they will not be able to depend on Moses when they get to the promised land. A certain all-powerful entity has some suggestions. For example, you shall appoint magistrates and officials to your tribes, and they shall govern with due justice. You shall not judge unfairly. Justice, justice shall you pursue, that you may thrive and occupy the land that the Lord your God is giving you. In Judaism, pursuing justice means working towards a society where all people are treated fairly. This requires a system of rules or laws that apply equally to everyone. Now, I'm a baseball fan, and baseball has a lot of rules, maybe even more than the Torah. Let's look at the 2017 Major League Baseball season to understand why consequences for breaking rules matter for achieving justice. At the beginning of the season, 2 members of the Houston Astros came up with a plan. They installed a hidden camera in center field. The camera sent a live video feed of the opposing team's catcher's signs to the Astros dugout, which they relayed to their hitters in real time by banging on a trash can. This told the hitters exactly what pitch was coming, giving the Astros an unfair advantage in every home game. In other words, they cheated. MLB rules state that electronic equipment may not be used to steal signs or convey information designed to give a club an advantage. This all led to the Astros winning the World Series, defeating the Los Angeles Dodgers 4-3. By cheating, they took something away from players who worked hard and played by the rules, like Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees, who would have won MVP that year if Jose Altuve of the Astros hadn't cheated. The rules of baseball are like a contract that allows the game to function fairly by giving everyone an equal chance to win based on how hard they work and how well they play. Everyone has to trust in that agreement and be confident that rule breakers will be punished. Cheating destroys every part of that. This incident still upsets me for 3 reasons. The first is the cheating. The second is that the team was not adequately punished. The third is that the players' apologies were not sincere. I've already talked about the cheating, but let's look at the consequences. As punishment for the scandal, the Astros as a team were fined $5 million, the maximum allowed. For context, this is less than 1 year of an above-average player's salary. They also lost a couple of draft picks. That's it. But it's not enough. In my Torah portion, God commands the Jewish people to impose severe consequences for law breaking because it is necessary for a just society. The same goes for baseball. If the consequences are serious, people will respect the rules, or at least fear the cost of breaking them. Finally, let's look at the apologies. At first, the Astros denied every accusation. Only when the players were granted immunity from consequences did the team admit what happened and apologize over 2 years after the fact. Even then, their apologies were not sincere and did not take responsibility for the harm they did. I'm really sorry about the choices that were made, said third baseman Alex Bregman at a press conference reading from a prepared statement. Alex Bregman is Jewish, so he should know something about the importance of a sincere apology. As we approach the Jewish high holidays, we are expected to apologize very specifically for the wrongs we have done and to each person for the hurt we have caused them in the previous year. Those apologies only count if they are sincere. The Astros players and coaches should not only apologize more specifically to the people they hurt, but also try to repair the harm they caused. For starters, they could give up their World Series title and give Aaron Judge the MVP award he deserves. I use this example to illustrate why rules and consequences are important to achieving justice. My Torah portion outlines a system of justice that will allow the Jewish people to have a more fair and equal society in the land they are about to enter. Shabbat Shalom.
No, you got to stay up here. You're still on a baseball term. You're still on the hot seat. Mazel tov. You want to take a deep breath? Okay. Let me just first say I didn't know your Hebrew name until today, and I saw it on the sheet that Rachel prepared for me. Maimon Binyamin. If you ever make it to the big leagues, and they say your name as you're approaching the plate and they play whatever warm-up song, go by Maimon. That's a power name, If a pitcher is staring down miles, okay, they can size him up, but Maimon? No, you're getting pitched around. Mazel tov. You feel good? You should be proud. I want to first thank you, if we're going to stick with baseball, because the first few times that we met preparing for your bar mitzvah, we're in the spring and all we did was play catch. No one has ever asked me to play catch, which made me feel good. I enjoyed it, and also came right after the winter of last year of COVID, which was just like the worst time. So it was a really big professional and social pick-me-up for me. So that was a real mitzvah that you did for me. So thank you. I want to say that I'm not sure this was the thing you most wanted to do on your birthday. The jury may be out. You don't need to answer. And as we talked about your portion or your portions, you had wonderful, smart, insightful things to say about it, but I think the actual task of writing your Devar Torah, of writing your speech, was a little difficult until we thought about the unbelievable amount of rules in the portions and the unbelievable amount of rules in baseball, both written and unwritten. The Torah has the same system of written and unwritten rules. Okay, I didn't know that. And you were able to relate something personal, important about you to the portion and found your way in. And that is the role of Torah. That's the role of studying Torah and bringing that message to other people, of finding your voice, finding where you matter and how you play into this tradition is as important as anything else you're going to learn in this room or any other room of this synagogue or in the community. It's finding how your voice plays into the larger tradition of Judaism. And also, you taught us something important about justice. You know, there's clear-cut black and white justice. And then there's all the things that lead to injustices that can go under the radar. You know, it's putting something sticky on the ball. It's banging on a garbage can. It can pass as something casual, that we wouldn't look twice at it. But behind it lies something really wrong. And you saw that in the Torah, and I don't think we would always see that. And I encourage you not only to seek out the places that are clear-cut injustices, but find the little things, finding where people are banging on a trash can, leading to someone being oppressed or getting an unfair deal, whether that's Aaron Judge or that's some person on the street. And I'm glad that you called out Alex Bregman. We should always start within. We should call out our own before we're able to move outward, because we should have higher expectations for ourselves than we do for others. On a personal note, I really enjoyed spending time with you, whether that was in my office or playing catch across the street. And as much as this might not have been the most fun way to spend your birthday, I hope you'll come back and read Torah and chant for us and study with me, because we're all better for it. It was such a joy, and I hope you feel proud, because we're really proud of you. Mazel tov. Now I'd like to invite up your parents. You got to stay on the hot seat a little bit longer.
Okay. My. We are so proud of you for all the hard work you put into preparing for this day. You were not always, not ever, enthusiastic about it, but you did it because it was important to us.
We hope that you'll look back on becoming a bar mitzvah as an accomplishment to be proud of, and that the knowledge of Torah and Jewish traditions that you've gained will give you strength and solace in the years to come.
We are also so proud of the person you have become. Your strong sense of justice, evident in your Devar Torah, loyalty to your friends, your kind heart, fondness for animals, warm and affectionate nature, and terrific sense of humor are just a few of the many qualities that we love about you. May you always remain as passionate about your values and as generous with your love and affection as you are today. May you continue to expand the ways you bring joy and laughter to those around you, and live a life filled with love and a sense of connectedness to friends, family, and the Jewish community.
You already demonstrate many important Jewish values, like the pursuit of tzedek, or justice, tikkun olam, repairing the world, hachnasat orchim, welcoming the stranger, and gemilut chasadim, acts of loving kindness. May you continue to grow in your compassion and empathy for others, and may your strong sense of fairness and justice guide the decisions you make throughout your life.
We know that family is important to you. It gives us tremendous joy to see how much you value your time with your grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins, whether it's in person or on FaceTime. May you always be surrounded and supported by the love of family, and may that love carry you through any difficult times ahead.
My, you have already faced some big challenges in your life, including living through a global pandemic and all the losses that went along with that. We're proud of you for enduring and bouncing back from those challenges, and are so happy to see you returning to playing baseball, going to camp and soon school, and seeing your friends. May you draw strength from this experience and take from it the knowledge that you're resilient and capable of getting through dark and difficult times with the support of family and friends. May you continue to expand your belief in yourself and know that with courage and persistence, there's nothing you cannot achieve.
Wherever your life leads you, may you know that no matter what, we're always here for you. We love you with all our hearts. So proud of you.
Let's all stand now and express our thanks for reaching this day through the blessing of Shechianu. Please join me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Mazel tov, Miles, from all of us. We continue with the conclusion of our service with Aleinu. We remain standing, page 49. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latei gedula leotzer breishit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, וגור עלינו כחמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא שנוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ. כי המלכות שלך היא ולעולם תמלוך בכבוד, ככתוב בתורתך. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. This morning we remember Toby Balter, Joseph J. Bobinski, Rebecca Epstein, Louis Epstein, Louis B. Flaxman, and Jenny B. Umans. During the coming week, we remember Fanny Ladowski, Marta Pataki, Morton S. Abelson, Hyman B. Abrams, Rose Augustus, Goldie Bloom, Celia Goldsmith, Vera Himmel, Minnie Hoffman, Meryl Kahn, Anna Collis, Clara McGill, Rebecca Mindus, Harry Weiss, Dora Berkowitz, Mina Dannenberg, Jacob Goldwasser, Ida Gross, Abraham H. Lansky, Ben Nathanson, May Schwartz, Celia Bessie Abramson, John Church, Ben Glassman, Paul G. Lewin, Oscar Walchurk, Rabbi Isaac Bonder, Dorothy Flaxman, Sarah Gamson, Gwen Lieberman, Louis Spatz, Molly Stern, Ella Dane, Zelda Hodis Dropkin, William Forgy, Ida Ascoli Freiberger, Abraham Hamburg, Florence Press, Sarah Robin, and Anna Rubenstein. All those observing Yortzeit and reciting Kaddish, please rise for Mourner's Kaddish on page 51. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yamad devrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayedech al Beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehesh shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam yolmei almaya. Yitporach v'yishtabach v'yitpoar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudashah b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehesh lama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Shabbat shalom. As president of Road Faith Tzedek, it's my honor and privilege to extend Mazel Tov to Miles, Lisa, Steve, Charlie, and Zach on the wonderful occasion of Miles' bar mitzvah. So we wish you all a great day going forward. Probably Miles will find the rest of the day more relaxing. But Miles, I want you to know I 100% agree with you on your assessment of the inadequate punishment of the Astros. Totally. Coming up, we have Slichot on August 28th. I think that's a week from today, with a very interesting interactive, both in person and on Zoom, interactive dive into the idea of teshuvah, returning to one's better self, a reflection of forgiveness, followed by the Slichot service. And then I hear a week or so after that, we're having Rosh Hashanah. So I look forward to seeing everybody in person or virtually, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Mazel Tov again, Miles. And before we conclude with Adon Olam, we will add a prayer for healing, a Misha Berach, for all those in need of healing. And again, we're grateful that all of us have been able to be here today and are here after a difficult year. And we need to persevere further in the coming weeks and months and wish healing and blessing on all of us. So please join us on page 40 for Misha Berach. turn now to Adon Olam. We invite you to join us for this final hymn, this final beautiful poem. We wish Miles Mazel Tov again. Please feel free to take your candy with you on your way out. Please do return your shaker so we have it for our next bar mitzvah. Page 52. Adon Olam Asher Mala B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Le'ein Asa V'chefto Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Vehu Haya Vehu Hoveh Vehu Yeh V'tid Barah Vehu Echad V'en Sheni Lehamshilo Leachbira V'li Reshit V'li Tachlit V'lo Ha'oz V'ha'misra Vehu Evi V'chai Goavi V'tzur Chevli V'yeh Tzara Vehu Nisi Umanosi Menat Kosi Beyom Ekra Beyado Apkid Ruchi Be'et Ishan Ve'aira Ve'im Ruchi Geviati Adonai li velo ira Adon Olam Asher malach v'terem kol Yetzir nivra Hallelujah 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 Shabbat Shalom. Mazal Tov. Mazal Tov. Great job, Miles.
בקודש חזיתיך לראות ושכר וכבוד